In this lesson, we're going to discuss placing text into your InDesign layout. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, and in the Sample Files folder, scroll down to 0501, The Secrets of Placing Text, and just click Open. To place text, all you need to do is go to your File menu to Place. To get to the style options, you could check Show Import Options, but I don't, and the reason is I always forget to uncheck it, and I keep going into Style Options until I finally remember to uncheck it. Instead, what I'm going to do is locate my text file, which is in the sample files, and it's called 0501 MS Word Text to Import. And instead of just clicking Open, I'm going to hold down my Shift key when I click Open. Holding down the Shift key will get you into your style options without checking style options in the dialog window. That way I don't have to worry about unchecking it the next time. The first section is about what is going to be included from the MS Word document. By default, it's including a table of contents, an index, footnotes, and endnotes. If your document doesn't have any of these, it really doesn't matter whether they're checked or not. But if you don't want to include your table of contents or any of these, make sure to uncheck them so they don't come in with the text. The next section is about typographer's quotes. Typographer's quotes are the curly Q quotes that you see in type. It's not the straight up and down quotes that are actually inches and feet marks. So you do want to check this most of the time. Let's talk about the various settings in the formatting section. What I usually recommend is to click on Remove Styles in Formatting from Text and Tables to avoid some problems, which I'll talk about later. Why don't we see what that does? I'm just going to click OK, and it loads all of the text into something called a loaded brush. And if I go between my margins in the primary text frame, I'm just going to click to place the text into that frame. InDesign actually automatically added as many pages as are necessary to contain all of the text. I'm going to undo this. I'm going to hit Command-Z on a Mac, Control-Z on a PC. And then I'm going to do it again to unload the text from the loaded brush. Why don't we re-import the text? I'm going to go to File, Place, and in the sample files, I'm going to once again scroll down to 0501 MS Word Text to Import.rtf. I'm going to get back into the options simply by holding down my Shift key when I click Open. The next choice is actually Preserve Styles and Formatting. And you can see there's a lot of choices as to what you can bring in. And if you want those to come in, check them. If you don't, uncheck them. But if it preserves styles and formatting in your text, why is that a problem? Well, there's a couple of problems. What if I'm missing the typefaces? I'm going to have missing typefaces. That's not a good thing that I'd like to avoid. Also, if there's any color that's been applied to any of the text, which I know there has been, it's going to be RGB. And that's going to bring RGB colors into, in this case, a CMYK document for print. That's not a good thing either. So normally, I would just remove styles and formatting. But people always ask, how do I know what text is a headline and what text is a subhead or body text? Basically, the best thing to do is to open Microsoft Word and print out your document. Then follow the formatting from your printed out Microsoft document. One last choice down the bottom of the Import Options window I'd like to talk about, which is something called Customize Style Import. If I check that, a button becomes available called Style Mapping. And what this allows me to do is to map the text that has certain styles applied to it to my styles that I've set up in my InDesign document. So basically, my text is going to come in fully formatted. Really kind of a cool thing. So what I'm going to do is click on chapter headline, and I'm going to map that to the style in my InDesign document that I'm using to replace that style, and it's called section headline. Then there's another style in the Microsoft Word document called tip heading. I'm going to match that to heading for tips. The last style that I need to map is tip copy. And let me click on that pop-up menu and match it to my style in the InDesign document, which is body text. And now all I need to do is click OK. And then click OK in the top of the RTF import options window, and it's going to bring in my text. And when I click in my primary text frame, the text is going to come in fully formatted. How often do I get a chance to actually use this? Very rarely. And the reason is most of the people are not using styles correctly in Microsoft Word. So when you do style mapping, the results could be disastrous, which is why in most cases I remove all styles and formatting from the text. But when it does work, it's really amazing. In the next lesson, we're going to continue to discuss text and type formatting.